Hi. So earlier this week, I introduced you to some ways to make blocks and straps out of your stuff around the house. And another thing that we usually have in yoga studios, not all of them, but quite a lot of them, are usually like blankets. They'll be colorful little numbers like this, but most of us have not gone and gotten special blankets for practicing yoga. Some of you might have some of these, but most of you probably won't. So, what do we use the blankets for in our practice? I like to use the blankets to help elevate my seat. Sometimes I use them as padding underneath my knees if I'm like on my hands and knees and the floor is hard and I'm feeling really sensitive in my knees that day. Sometimes, if you're laying in Shavasana, they can become a pillow underneath your head, or if your back is sensitive, you can roll up your blanket when you're laying in Shavasana and slide it underneath your knees. So you use it like a bolster. So in yoga, we have blankets and we have pillows or bolsters. I actually don't have a bolster, so what I've done as an alternative is I've just taken a comforter that I'm not going to be using anymore for like the next 6 months because I live in Arizona and it's starting to get hot here. But I've just got this bolster here, and you can use it in a bunch of different ways. Now, we probably won't need the bolster on Saturday, but if you ever take class with me or anywhere and you're at home and and the teacher says you need a bolster, you can just roll up your comforter and it'll operate much the same way as a bolster. Now, in the beginning of classes, a lot of times teachers will have you sit in an easy seat. And sometimes they say Sukhasana, and that usually means sitting in a like crisscross applesauce. That doesn't often work for me, and I'll show you what it looks like when I sit directly on my bum and I try to sit crisscross applesauce. So I don't feel like I'm sitting up very straight and my knees don't fall below my hips. And you kind of want to let your knees fall below your hips so that your hips and you have space to release your hip flexors, which get really tight from sitting anyway. So one way to alleviate the rounding in your spine, some of you may even end up like this, and that's completely normal. I've seen it. It doesn't matter. This is like your pelvis is tipping backwards, your low back is rounding, and it probably isn't going to be very comfortable. It may even be painful for some of you. So I've got this nice blanket. You probably don't have one exactly like it. It's fine. You probably have, you might have a quilt. If you've got kids or babies around, you probably have lots of little quilts. You can just fold them the same way. So you fold. I have the quarter fold, and then I fold it again. And one more time. You kind of want it to be neat, but there's that nice folded edge there. And then you sit on the edge, not like your whole seat on the whole blanket, but like right on the edge there. So you sit right on the edge, and then look what happens when I sit on the edge. So my knees fall a little bit lower, my back is a lot longer, and I can root down and lengthen up because my pelvis is tipped a little more forward. I also have a meditation pillow here. Sometimes I'll sit on that, but if this is enough for you, like you can even use your blocks. Remember, you made some blocks probably. You can use a block underneath your seat if you prefer something a little less cushy. Lots of options. Maybe you don't have a comforter, but you've got some pillows. You can use pillows, you can use couch cushions, whatever. All of those options, right? And the way you use it, the other way you use it for padding is you probably want it a little less folded, and then you just take it and put it on your mat and use it underneath your knees, and that's already a lot nicer for me there. Yeah, so that's how you look around your house and find soft things that you can use as padding underneath your knees or to help or for you to sit on to help elevate your spine so that you're not rounding in and your knees aren't flying way up in space. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you Saturday. Come prepared.